Hi everybody, today we are making biryani. Let's get started. I'm going to start by roasting some of my ingredients that I'm using today. You don't have to roast them, you can just blend them like that, but I choose to roast them because I like the flavor of the roasting. I'm using a lot of different ingredients today. I'm not going to have time to say them all here. I don't want the video to be long, but I'll be listing all of them in the measurement on the description box for you guys. I'm using lamb today for my biryani, but you can use chicken, goat meat. I don't know if people use any other type of meat, but I have seen people use chicken. And for my biryani today, I am going to use lamb. I preheated my oven for 350 degrees. I'm going to roast it for about 5 to 10 minutes. Be careful not to burn them. This is what they look like after they roasted. After they cool down, just break the cinnamon stick so they can easy to blend. I'm just showing you a different way to blend it if you don't have the electric blender. I use the mortar and pestle first to just show you guys. Then I am going to use my coffee grinder. I use this one for my black pepper and this type of ingredients. This one I don't use it for my coffee because if you use it for black pepper, doesn't matter how much you wash it. If you blend coffee there, it's going to taste like black pepper. So be careful. There's some tip to share with you guys because I learned from my mistake. I have done it before. After we blend our ingredients, we want to sift it. If you don't sift it, you're going to have a lot of chunks that you don't want to cook with. You see what I'm talking about. I just throw that away. If you have time, you can reblend it again and sift it, but I didn't have time to do all that. We forgot to add the bay leaf earlier. Now that's what we're blending now into our coffee grinder. Now we're going to blend our ginger and garlic to a paste, just like that. Now we are going to season our lamb. Now we're going to mix up the seasoning that we made, the garlic and ginger paste, a little bit of salt, and we have plain Greek yogurt, that's what I'm using, and half of lemon, the juice. I have a small hot pepper. I'm gonna write the name of it on the description box. I just use half of it because it's a little bit spicy. I have fresh mint and fresh cilantro. Usually biryani is very spicy, but if you don't like spicy, you don't have to make it too spicy. Like my house, someone here don't like hot pepper, so I have to make it mild. I told you earlier, biryani required a lot of seasoning. What I show you here is another different one. Again, it's gonna be listed on the description box. Maybe you can make it without all these ingredients I'm using. You can pick and choose, but I just want the real biryani taste today. That's what I'm going for. We will be mixing it all together. Then we have fried half onion earlier. We're going to add it into the lamb seasoning. Your mixture have to be rested for about 2 hours or more, or you can do it the night before you cook your biryani. I just want to show you guys the type of basmati I'm using today. You will be needing basmati to make biryani. Please don't use other rice for your biryani. Now to my cast iron pan, I heated my oil. I'm adding some of the seasoning that I blend earlier. This one we didn't blend or roasted them. I will list them again on the description box, and a little bit of salt. After 2 minutes, we're going to add our marinated lamb. We are going to give it a stir. Make sure it's not burning the bottom. The heat is on medium. We blended 2 medium fresh tomatoes. We're going to add it. And a little bit of it, that chili hot pepper. It is optional, you don't have to use the hot pepper. In the back, I'm frying onions that we're gonna need later. We add the bay leaf. You have to keep checking it because you don't want it to get burned. The lamb been cooking in the oil about 15 minutes. Now we add the water. We don't need too much water. This fried onions is for when we're assembling the rice. You'll see later what I'm talking about. The lamb been cooking about 50 minutes now. Since we started, now we're going to add that mixed ingredient we blended earlier. And we're gonna add our beef bouillon and a little bit more salt. Now we're gonna prepare for our rice. Of course, when you make biryani, you have to boil the rice first. We're going to add our salt and that spicy little pepper I showed you guys earlier. It's totally optional. You don't have to add it. Cinnamon stick and some of the seasoning that we blended earlier. And it's going to be on the description box. I'm going to separate it for the rice and for the lamb seasoning. It's going to be fresh cilantro also, and then we're going to add that seasoning we blended earlier. We already clean our rice and drain it. We're going to add it on the boiling water. We're going to let it boil for about 10 to 11 minutes. You don't want it to cook through. You will just want to cook it about 80% of it. The rest is going to finish with the lamb. I'm just checking here if it's cooked because I can able to check when I squeeze them between my fingers. Now we're going to drain it. Before we layer the rice, we're going to take off the sauce, put it in the separate bowl. We're going to leave a little bit in the bottom of the pan. This is the consistency we are looking for. We don't want it very loose. I'm going to show you guys my way to lay it. I do it like when I'm doing lasagna. I'm starting with the sauce first. Then I will add the rice. If you are draining the rice, you don't have to take off the cinnamon stick because sometimes they can be big, but I just leave them there into the rice. Unless you don't like the cinnamon stick in your rice, you can leave them. That's the cilantro and the fresh mint I'm adding. After that, I'm gonna layer the onions, the fried onions that I was telling you guys earlier. And I'm just gonna repeat the process here. I heated quarter cup of whole milk in the microwave for about a minute and a half. I added the food coloring, which I'm showing you here. Now we're gonna pour it over the rice so we can get nice color when we're done. Then after that, I'm going to add butter ghee. If you don't have the butter ghee, you can add regular butter. Just melt it in the microwave. Like I said earlier, when it comes to some of the ingredients you don't like or you want to add more, you go ahead and make it your own way. You make it the way that when you finish, you enjoy it. We are going to cover it and reduce the heat to a low for 30 to 35 minutes. Then you're gonna get a delicious biryani that even your neighbors will smell it. All I have to tell you though, for you to get this homemade from scratch biryani, you're going to need at least half a day off to make it, but it's worth every second. It's very delicious. Look how beautiful is that. I hope you guys gonna give this delicious recipe a try. If you don't have time to make it though, it's another shortcuts out there. It's already pre-made seasonings you can buy at the store. I do want to thank you guys for taking your time watching this video to the end. Please don't forget to like, share, comment. On jarama.